Hey guys, so Miss Grogan here. Just normally would be having a senior meeting with you all in the cafeteria in a big group, but obviously we can't do that. But there's some really important information that we would be saying to you at this time of the school year, just trying to help you get ready for what lies ahead after graduation. And so things that we need to be making sure you're planning for now, and things that you do need to be taking care of now. And just started getting a little bit worried that maybe some of you weren't sure about what you should be doing. I think some of you are really on top of things. A lot of you have been emailing me and Miss Phillips about letters of recommendation and things like that you need to be taking care of. But at the same time, some of you may not be sure where to get started. So just want to have a quick little video here to kind of let you know what things you should be trying to take care of now in regards to college applications, financial aid, and then also community college and trade schools as well. And give you the opportunity to reach out to me or Miss Phillips with any questions that maybe I don't get to cover in this video. Again, this is our typical senior meeting. We'll probably have a couple more of those. And hopefully y'all will be back on campus when we do the next one. But this is stuff that kind of needs to get rolling pretty soon. And so we just wanted to reach out and make sure you knew what you should be doing. The college application process is up and going. All the Texas schools use Applied Texas, or most of the Texas schools use Applied Texas. There's a couple of private schools that have their own thing, and a few of those even use Applied Texas. So it's really nice. It's a common application. You can fill it out once and then just keep submitting it to different schools. So that's really nice and helpful. And then out-of-state schools have their own applications, or they may use the official Common App, not at the Applied Texas, but the Common application. I'm already getting, and I know Ms. Phillips is as well, we're getting some recommendations from that. So I know some of you already are plugged into that and are getting going on that, so that's perfect. Just the parts to any application that you need to make sure you're taking care of. When you're writing those essays, we really want you to make sure that you're having somebody look those over, somebody that knows what they're talking about in regards to grammar, and making sure your sentence structure is appropriate, and your spelling and all of that kind of thing is good and polished before you submit an essay to a college. Please make sure you're having a current English teacher, a former English teacher, junior high English teachers. You may have someone in your life that's really good at that kind of stuff that maybe doesn't work for the school. All that's totally fine. Just have somebody that you trust that knows about that kind of stuff to look those over. Don't just hit submit and send those in. They really do need to be polished. Ms. Phillips and I are already getting a lot of recommendation letter requests, which is great. Please keep sending those to us when you need them. The thing I always tell kids about letters of rec is that please don't wait till the day before you need it and then shoot us an email and hope that we can write one for you really quickly. One thing, you need us to say something positive about you, and if you're waiting till the last second, sometimes we're a little like, okay, well, this child's a procrastinator. No, we would never say that, but we definitely need enough time. We have other things that pop up during the school day. We can't always just stop and write a letter of rec. Neither can your teachers. So they're super busy right now. So I always try to say the good rule of thumb is a couple of weeks in advance for when you need it. And I always try to tell students to make sure that they're attaching academic resume to that letter of recommendation request. That just lets your teacher or the principal, assistant principal, counselor, whoever you're asking to write your letter of rec, just kind of some background. We generally know the things that you're involved in, but we don't know everything, and so sometimes that's super helpful for us. If you don't have an academic resume, that's definitely something you should work on as well, and just gives you a pretty general place to kind of report all of your extracurricular activities, your volunteer service, any awards that you may have received. And you can usually, once you do sit down and do that academic resume, it's pretty easy to use it throughout the school year as you're applying to various scholarships and colleges and things of that nature. So if you'll just take care of that one time, you can usually attach it to most applications. And you can find templates for that pretty easily on the internet for free, and then just plug in the stuff that you have been involved in. The other big thing this year has been SAT and ACT testing. Almost all of you had your SAT and ACT test dates in the spring canceled due to COVID. I know we had to cancel ours, and I'm pretty sure almost everybody did as well. I added in extra testing dates for us for this fall. I don't have control over SAT as far as who can sign up for our exam, so on our test day. So the dates are on there. I would like for you to get on there because, to be honest with you, the reason I did those is for you, for our kids. But again, I can't control who all signs up for those tests, so be sure and get on there. We gave one this past Saturday, saw lots of you there. Glad to see that. We're going to give one again at the end of September, and we're going to give one again at the beginning of October. That's SAT. And remember, you can go to College Board, use your College Board account, and sign up for that test. The other thing I was able to do with ACT, and remember, colleges will take either one, but on the ACT, they did allow me to reserve it just for Wimberley High School students. So you won't see that ACT test on the ACT website. But if you go to actstudent.org, you'll see the process for signing up for an ACT test. If you're interested in that test date, I believe it's October 17th, you're going to need to reach out to myself or to Ms. Phillips, and we will give you the special code that you're going to need to sign up for that test. Again, I only did that for you, our kids, our Wimberley High School kids. It's not open to anybody else to come and take that particular ACT test. So, and I only reserve 40 spots. So please reach out to myself, Ms. Phillips. We'll give you that code and the directions on how to get signed up for that. If you have not yet taken an SAT or ACT and you qualify for free or reduced lunch, again, reach out to myself or Ms. Phillips. We can give you a fee waiver for that, so there is no fee associated with that. And if you use a fee waiver for SAT or ACT testing, you can also use an application fee waiver for your college apps at most colleges. Just let Ms. Phillips or myself know, and we'll make sure we get that for y'all. A lot of colleges are saying that they are waiving standardized tests this year. In fact, almost all of them are, because they know the position that you've been put in regards to not being able to test last spring, which would have been the ideal time for you to take it. The only thing that worries me a little bit is going to be some of you, have been a good student, but maybe you were going to apply to a school that maybe you weren't going to be an automatic acceptance at, or you were really counting on an SAT or ACT score to kind of give them, that admissions committee, a better understanding of the kind of student that you are, that you're capable of being. And so if you didn't get to take that, then all they're going to have to go off of is your grades and your volunteer hours and extracurricular. So some of you were really counting on an SAT or ACT score to kind of boost up your applications. And so that's why I signed us up for those extra test dates, to give you more opportunities to take care of that. The other thing that I am not completely convinced about in regards to schools waiving SAT and ACT is a lot of scholarships, college scholarships, are based on SAT, ACT scores. And so I just feel like, to give yourself every opportunity to be competitive for those types of things, try to get an SAT or ACT test if you possibly can. Again, just reach out to myself or Ms. Phillips, and we'll give you more information about that. Speaking of scholarships, so a lot of the big universities have a scholarship deadline that are December 1st. So that happens before you know it, and so you really want to make sure that you're looking at those application deadlines, know what those are, make sure you're looking at the scholarship deadlines, make sure you know what those are. It's probably pretty good to keep a chart and seeing when the application deadlines are, scholarship deadlines are, and making sure that you're getting everything into them that you need to do. So pay attention to the deadlines. Some of them are not that as early as December 1st. I haven't really seen one earlier than December 1st, but December 1st, I know Texas, A&M, a lot of years, that deadline is December 1st on the scholarship application. So make sure you're just very aware of those things, and then pay attention and don't miss the deadlines. If you need a transcript, you will need a transcript. All your applications are going to require that you've submitted a transcript. Sometimes it will have you send me or Ms. Phillips an application transcript form, where we just download that, or upload it, I should say, into some sort of portal that the school uses. But most of the time, they want an official transcript sent in this program that schools use to talk to each other called T-Rex. If you've seen that on the application, or if you just want a hand copy of your transcript, you can get those from Miss Nolan. So it's rhonda.nolan@wimberleyisd.net is her email address. If you're remote learning, if you're coming back on campus next week and you need to swing by her office, you definitely can do that and request an official transcript. She'll take care of that for you. College visits are going to look so different this year than normal. You'd normally be hearing me at this meeting really making sure that you all knew that you had 2 days that you could take off from school. It wouldn't count against your attendance. Go put your feet on a college campus. If you have not done that already, and a lot of you were planning to do that last spring and colleges shut down, you weren't able to do that. Not very many colleges are having campus tours right now in person. There are a few that are trying to get that going again, so I would just encourage you to look at their websites and see what the options are for campus tours. They're almost all offering virtual tours, so certainly take advantage of that. But take every opportunity that you might have to get on a college campus if you possibly can. And it's just going to be a matter of taking the time to kind of look at their websites and kind of figuring out what is available and what isn't. You may be stuck with some virtual stuff for now. But you do get those days off from school. If you do happen to find a place where you can go and do an actual in-person college visit, just make sure you stop at the attendance office before you go. Miss Warren has a form for you to take with you that gets signed by the university. You bring that back the next day, and the attendance does not count against you. So definitely take advantage of that. Getting a lot of emails and calls from college representatives right now. Typically, we would be allowing them to come on our campus, having tables set up during the lunches with lots of college information, handouts, things like that you could walk up to the table and speak to an admissions representative from that university. We're not letting them do that right now because of COVID. And so, what I'm telling them to do is to, I will put the information out there to y'all as much as I can. Y'all need to be online doing research on colleges, and if you have a specific college you would like to meet with an admissions representative about their school, come and let me know or Ms. Phillips know, and we can definitely help you coordinate that over a Zoom with the university representative and yourself, maybe during a lunch or something like that, and we'll work that part out. Generation Pave the Way. So you've probably heard of Generation Pave the Way. If you haven't, you should. It's a great service here at the high school where we have volunteers come in. Tracy Maxwell does head that up for us and some other volunteers that come in and spend their time working with kids one-on-one that need somebody to sit down and just kind of help them along with the process of doing applications, filling out financial aid forms, whatever that may be. Right now, they're doing appointments virtually, and by appointment, if you'll make an appointment, they'll find some time to meet or get connected with you in whatever means that needs to be, whether it's virtual or in person, and really can help you. Just sometimes you need that person to sit down with you and say, okay, let's get going. Pull up the application. Let's start filling it out. And so they're super helpful in that regard. And then they can also really help point you in some directions for maybe some college exploration, trade school exploration, community college kind of thing as well, if you're needing help with that. Or if your parents have specific questions about financial aid, things like that, they're super helpful. That's Generation Pave the Way. And again, you can reach out to me, Ms. Phillips. They have a Facebook page, Generation Pave the Way, and an Instagram page where you can get a lot of information on there as well. So I'd highly encourage you to join those and get the information. We have our college fair every fall, and we're not going to be able to do that like it normally looks. The college representatives are not going to be able to be on campus doing all of that, but we are going to set that up to have the college fair virtually, and Tracy Maxwell does coordinate that for us in conjunction with Generation Pave the Way, and she is going to be sharing information pretty soon with you all as we get a little bit closer to when the date would be, of the information about how to join and all of that information about the logistics of how that college fair is going to work. But I'm very excited that they've been able to salvage that to some extent, because I think that's super helpful for all of you to maybe get some interest in some colleges that you didn't even know were out there, that you didn't even know maybe offered some degree plan that you're really interested in. You hadn't thought about that university previously, and then you were able to stop by their table and pick up some information, and maybe it's something that you really were might be a good fit for you. So that's still going to happen. It's just going to look a little different, like most things these days, and you'll be getting some information about that before too much longer, letting you know how that's going to go. The other thing I want to talk just briefly about is a lot of you I know have plans to just start at ACC, Austin Community College, and that's a great plan for a lot of kids, especially at this time where we're not sure what college campuses are really going to look like, and in the fall of next year and all of that. So for a lot of kids, Austin Community College or junior college is a really good option. And so on those situations, there wouldn't be anything that you really needed to be doing right now other than completing your high school courses, doing well in your classes, and then in the spring you would need to take a test called TSI. And the community colleges offer those on their campus or virtual right now, and so we can definitely talk more about that in the spring. There wouldn't be anything that you would need to be doing right now to take care of that if that is your plan. And then you can start at a community college, get your basics out of the way, and then transfer into a four-year university to finish that up. And at that point, you'd be looked at as a transfer student, not an incoming freshman, and they would look at your college grades, the grades that you made at Austin Community College or Blinn or any of those junior colleges. That's a great option for a lot of kids. These are things that Ms. Phillips and I can help talk you through. If you have some questions about what that would look like for you or kind of what's the next step for you if that might be your plan. Technical schools also, we usually are able to get Texas State Technical College, TSTC, to come out. Again, we can't really do that this year. I'm not sure that they will be part of the virtual college fair, but we will try to get students who are interested in that connected. They have some amazing vocational programs, and that can be a really good plan for a lot of kids. And so we'll get some more information out to y'all about that as well. There's probably some things, if you were sitting in front of me, some questions that you may have. So for now, what I just ask you to do is email me or email Ms. Phillips with your questions if I didn't cover something that maybe you were still wondering about. Scholarships and financial aid are things that people typically do have questions about. The financial aid form, which is FAFSA, is not going to come open for your class until October. So we will have more information. We'll probably have a financial aid night. I don't know if that'll be in person or virtual, but we'll figure that part out as we get a little bit closer to it. But just anticipate that's coming up in October. So nothing you really need to do about that right now. Just prepare for that a couple of months down the road. And then scholarships are always out there. So we post every scholarship that we know about that someone sends us, hey, here's a link for a particular scholarship. We put that on our scholarship page. You can find that on the Wimberley High School website under academics. There's a link for, under the counselors page, there's a link for scholarships. We're updating that all the time. The scholarships that are local, that just are for Wimberley High School students or students in our area, Hayes County or the surrounding area, those we typically are not made aware of, if they're going to be offered again and what the application process is going to look like for that until usually January or February we start posting that stuff on our scholarship page. So right now what you'll see is a lot of scholarships that are out there and open to really anybody. You'll see some search engines for some scholarships like FastWeb. That's a great one to see a lot of combined list of scholarships that are pretty easy at your fingertips to kind of glance through and see which ones may be applicable to you or to what, something you're going to study as a major or something like that. So those are great resources, places that you can start now to start to look at scholarship applications and get some of those taken care of. The deadlines, are coming and going quickly, so you want to make sure that you're staying on top of that. That's about it. I just wanted to kind of make sure we were getting off the ground with applications. I know a lot of you are, again, because we're getting some emails already from students. If you'd like to come and have an in-person meeting with myself or Ms. Phillips to make sure you're on track with all of that, we definitely can do that. You just need to call the high school office and Ms. Rugeley will make an appointment for you to see myself or Ms. Phillips. And then once, if you're coming back to in-person school next week, then you definitely can swing by our offices at any time. If you're going to continue to remote learn, you could still come in and have a meeting if that's what you wanted to do, or we could do a virtual meeting or get on the phone, email, whatever works best for you. We're just here to help in any way that we possibly can. Great to not really see you, but communicate with you, I guess, and we can't wait to see most of your faces back here next week. Thanks.